You know what's always interesting, and I found this out from multiple people I've spoken to, is what they portray in public is very different than what they portray in private. Like I was talking to a quantum physicist the other day, and I go, listen, they all have to have a sense of respectability within their community. If they actually said what they believe, they would be ostracized. But when they're at a dinner party with friends, or in their own homes, or like just having a drink with a friend, the things that come out of their mouth is very different than what they preach about in their classroom. So it's interesting.
And that's in all segments of society, because
correct.
20 years ago, I came out with this story. There was a book written about me called John of Old, John of New, by the first psychic who read me. And that's actually her book. Her book is still on Amazon now. I get nothing from it, so I'm not trying to sell a book, right? It's hers, right? But I was speaking all over the country. I was speaking at the Association for Research and Enlightenment, Unity Churches, metaphysical centers, and I was getting all over the place. Up in Canada doing stuff. And I realized that everyone was too invested in who I was and not what I'm actually talking about. And so I decided I'm going to take this information and I'm going to put a different vocabulary around it. And I'm going to stop preaching to the choir, and I'm going to start going to find people who need to be put on a path. So I became a corporate motivational speaker. And what I found really interesting is I would go into those speeches, and I would do these really cool speeches. And I'll just give you an example. At the end of my speech, I would pick the most timid person I could find in my audience. I would bring them onto the stage in front of everybody. And just by managing their fear and adjusting their timeline to the present, they would learn to crack a whip and hit targets out of my hand in 5 minutes, right? Literally. Cool. And it's just a matter of managing it, right? But what I would find out is at the end of the speech, I'd be standing there and people would come up, yeah, thank you so much. That was great. So good. And there'd always be a group that would stand off to the side. And once everybody else had cleared away, they'd come over and they'd lean in and they'd go, I know what you're talking about. Right? And they want to say it in the corporate environment, right? But yeah, we sometimes hide our spirituality for the sake of being afraid of being different.